Hello and welcome to the first edition of the Marc Medley Show in the year 2019. Welcome again. As I have not recorded an episode in a little while, it's good to be back with you. And even though this is the first podcast of 2019, it is designed to be, or can be taken as more of an admonishment or instruction or advice, suggestion, recommendation, however you might want to take it. And it's based on a recent documentary about R. Kelly, the singer. I have not seen not 1 second of the documentary, but I've heard about it. And just listening to what it's about prompted me to come up with this edition of the Marc Medley Show. Now, I'm going to take us back some time. For some of you listening, it might even be before you were born. But back in 1983, on August 30th, the comedian Eddie Murphy released his comedy routine or act known as Delirious. Delirious was a tour, and for those of you who've seen it, you remember Eddie was in this red leather suit. And there's a part of Delirious where Eddie talks about those who sing. As a matter of fact, it's titled Singers. That's the part of the skit in Delirious is called Singers. And in that skit, Mike, or shall I say Eddie, pokes fun at many of the top artists of that time, such as Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson, James Brown, and others, Luther Vandross, and other singers. And he repeatedly said, just sing. And what he meant by that was, it didn't matter what you did, how you looked, as long as you were a singer or a performer, and you were idolized, you could do pretty much anything that you wanted to do. As a matter of fact, because I won't get explicit for this podcast episode, the premise of it was more in a sexual nature in terms of conquests and how women or men would just throw themselves at you because you were a singer. And the reason that came to mind whenever I heard the little bit that I did hear about what was going on in surviving R. Kelly, because I heard all kinds of nonsense of R. Kelly almost being on the brink of kidnapping kids and teenagers. And in some respects, they went willingly because it was R. Kelly. Because it was R, they went along with his antics. Some really crazy things. And again, I'm somewhat familiar with R. Kelly's history, but it's not all R. Kelly's fault, as part of it is this idolization, as Eddie Murphy can say, for those who just sing. Didn't matter what you look like, what you could or could not do, because it's my understanding that R. Kelly cannot read or write. And yet he was able to take advantage of all of these young girls who were just so mesmerized at the fact that they were in the presence of R. Kelly. Matter of fact, the title of the documentary was Surviving R. Kelly. Now think about that for a minute. An entire 6-hour documentary dealing with the ability to survive the antics and abuse of someone just because they were a singer. Now, you've heard me say in this podcast before, and certainly I know I've said it on my radio talk show, where I don't get into being starstruck. I just don't get into being that impressed by someone who is a quote-unquote celebrity. Because, again, I've shared this, the only difference in my mind of a celebrity and me or you, the average Joe or Jane, is the fact that what they do garners a whole lot more attention and they make a whole lot more money for what they do. So let's say, for example, that they are an athlete or an actor or an actress, musician, singer, whatever the case may be, they do what they do in the sight of the public, which is numerous. And the public pays for this experience. So therefore, they make a whole lot of money for what it is they do. But other than that, they are a human being just like you or I. I've had the opportunity, and I've been blessed to meet these, in some respects, quote unquote, celebrities. I've met athletes, professional athletes. I've met actors and actresses. I've had the opportunity to meet musicians. And again, when I meet them, my conversation with them is more or less, I appreciate your work. I enjoy what you do. But it is not going to be one of these, oh, I can't wash this hand because I touched whoever. And I'm not hawking or running anybody down for autographs either, or pictures. If we're in the same company and we take a picture together, fine. If they're willing to sign an autograph, fine. But I am not going to go crazy and cry and scream and shout because I'm in the presence of, because the truth be told, they are human beings just like me or you. And they struggle, probably, if not more so, with issues just like me or you. Just because he or she is a celebrity does not make him or her immune from life. If you have the opportunity to talk about or talk to any of them, they'll tell you they experience the same struggles, the same hurts, the same issues and challenges as the person who's not the celebrity. I've had the opportunity to talk to Bernadette Stannis, who played Thelma on Good Times, and she shared the struggle she had with her mom with Alzheimer's disease. And during our conversation, we talked about how just because you're a celebrity does not make you immune from life's challenges. I had the opportunity the other night to watch a program dealing with the death of Michael Jackson. And the show was called The Autopsy of Michael Jackson or something along those lines. And listening and watching that show, based on his autopsy, Michael had some serious issues. And it talks about how the beginning of the end was when he was in that accident with Pepsi, when his hair caught on fire. From that point on, that was the beginning of the end for Michael Jackson over a long period of time before it did end at an early age of 50. There are other actors and actresses and musicians and singers and athletes who deal with day-to-day struggles just like we do. So it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense to get into this idolization. It really doesn't make a whole lot of sense to be putting these people on a pedestal, because at the end of the day, they're human beings just like you and I. Now, again, I did not watch 1 second of that R. Kelly documentary, but it's my understanding that daughters went missing that parents were not really concerned about once they found out they were with R. Kelly. They didn't question, they didn't seek, they didn't go to find out what's happening with my daughter, because in their mind, they were with this mega superstar. See, we have got to get out of this worshiping and idling other human beings. In some respects, it can be downright foolish. In other respects, it's dangerous. From what I was hearing from the surviving R. Kelly, these girls, to some respects, were in danger, because they didn't know what R was going to do next. I heard this nonsense about him scouting teenagers going to high schools and picking out and taking teenage girls. And again, I didn't see it. This is only what I've been told has been part of the documentary. See, that's where it becomes dangerous. We idolize these people because they're in the public eye. We idolize these people because they have a very nice voice, or they can catch a football with one hand, or they play for this team or that team, or they sing this song or that song, or they're this person and that person. When it's all said and done, they're not much different from me and you. They're not immune from the same difficulties that we have. As a matter of fact, when they have the challenges and issues that we have who are not in the spotlight, their stuff is for the world to see. They have to go, not only are they on stage with their performances, their stuff is put out to the world. They have to deal with that. So I'm not saying not to appreciate an artist or an athlete or an entertainer for what he or she does, but I am saying keep it in perspective. As I said, I shared with you, I have been with professional athletes. I've had the opportunity to talk with entertainers. And I have been, after the professional basketball game, to the hotel. And because it was the NBA and the players are men, you would have to see the females or the women that are already lined up at the hotel just hoping that they're the ones selected to go up to the players' room. And they willingly go up. Don't know the person from Adam. They're willing to do whether they sleep with them or whatever they need to do just to be able to say they were with. The screaming and the yelling and the fawning. If you ever look at some of the footage of concerts, of how when an artist come out, how folks just break into tears, just can't control themselves. We've got to stop. Eddie Murphy was right, and it was funny. If you go back to Delirious, or go to YouTube and put in Eddie Murphy Delirious, or either Eddie Murphy Singers, and watch the clip. It is funny, it is comedic, but it is true. Because, as it said, there is some truth in jest. And a lot of what Eddie Murphy was talking about was true. Some of the entertainers took attitude with what he was saying, or became angry or offended by what he was saying. But the truth of the matter is, Eddie was telling the truth. The skit, or the part of the comedic routine from Delirious, is called Singers. And as I said, Eddie said, just sing. And he emphasizes that. Just sing. That's all you got to do. Just sing. And all the whatever you're looking for is yours. All the adoration, all the sex, all the fawning, all the yelling, all the whatever it is that you feel that you're seeking, just sing. And it's yours. We've got to stop. We must stop idolizing other human beings because of the talent they've been blessed with. See them and appreciate them for what they are, compliment them, but don't put them on a pedestal. Don't make them something that they're not. It's great. They can bounce a ball. They can throw a ball. They can catch a ball. They can act. They can make people laugh. They can sing. They can do whatever it is that they do. But it does not and ought not give us reason or license to place them higher than they really are. Well, this is the first one for 2019. More to come. Make sure you stay tuned to the Marc Medley Show. Do me a favor and subscribe. Do me a favor and follow. Do me a favor and whatever it is to show that you're following the show. Also, you can hear me live on Saturday mornings on GoBrave.org. Anywhere you are in the world, if you log on Saturday mornings from 6 o'clock a.m. to 9 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time to GOBRAVE.org. Or if you're in the northern New Jersey, New York area, I'm on FM radio, 88.7 FM. You can catch me there. I'm on all the social media sites as well. I am praying for a wonderful 2019. May you receive everything you're asking for. May you conquer any challenges that come forward. And again, please, I thank you for your support in 2018 and the years past. But I do ask, if you've listened to this far, please, on all the various sites, whether it's iHeart, whether it's TuneIn, whether it's on Spreaker itself, whether it's on Apple Podcasts, do me a favor and just follow the show. Thanks a lot. And we'll be together again in the next episode of The Marc Medley Show.